Hey guys, welcome back to another Underground Virtuosos video. My name is Paul. I'm a violin viola teacher located here in San Diego, California. So today the topic is bow tilt. I often get a question after I demonstrate a playing for a student, and they would ask me, "Oh, why does your bow look like this?" And they would show me this. So where the bow stick is away from you, like so. And that's basically what the bow tilt is. And today we're going to talk about the advantages of playing without bow tilt versus with bow tilt, and in different situations, when would you use what? So let's get started with not tilting the bow. So what we call flat hair, playing with flat hair. Flat hair is when the bow stick is directly above the hair, and by doing this and you play, you will have a little bit more of a rougher sound, or a little bit more gritty sound. The sound isn't as refined or as pure as if you tilt your bow. Let me demonstrate a little bit. So this is flat hair right here. Yeah, so flat hair, as you can hear, there's a little bit more of that edge to it, a little bit of roughness, grittiness, and it's great in certain styles of music. It's great if you are, I would say, a soloist, or if you are a chamber musician, where you are really seeking a unique type of sound, and this kind of sound would come in handy for you. Um, but if you were to play in orchestra, I would say you would only need to use that if it's in the right situation. If the conductor is really demanding you to have a more rougher sound, then you kind of have the green light to go ahead and play with flat hair. That gives you a little bit more of that edge. Now let's talk about tilting the hair, tilting the bow. So tilted bow gives you a little bit more of a finer sound, like so. Okay, so let's talk about why it gives you a finer sound. When you have all the hair flat on the string, flat like this, it's going to grab the string with all the hair. That means all that friction is rubbing against the string, against the hair, and that gives you a little bit more of that roughness, that grittiness that we talked about when we played with flat hair. But if you tilt your bow, where the hair, you're not using all of your hair, maybe half, maybe even less than that, and that gives you a little bit less of that roughness that could potentially come from using all the hair. So therefore, it gives you a finer tone that is great in situations like an orchestra, or if you're playing music that is more melodic, maybe more lyrical, then you wouldn't be using flat hair to try to really push through for the sound. So um, really think about when to use one over the other, and this is something that requires you to have enough bow control in order to start using that. Now, how much of a tilted bow should you use? The answer is not so much where you feel like you are your bow is dangling off your hand. So what I mean by dangling is if you tilt so much and your wrist looks like this, like super high, like almost like a little pyramid kind of thing. If it's too far, then the problem is then you won't be able to apply any weight or pressure onto that, and all the sound that you get off will be kind of like this. It would be a little bit too light, a little bit too airy, as opposed to where you would have a little bit more core, because you can apply the arm weight and finger pressure when you need to, if your wrist is not so high. Okay, so a high wrist means that your bow will be extremely tilted, maybe even to the point where the stick is hitting or touching the string. So you're basically playing not just with the hair but also with the stick. And we don't need to hear the stick on the string. The only time we ever need to hear that is if we are trying to perform collineal stroke, where you are striking the string with the stick. But regular playing, when you are moving your bow up and down, you don't need to get your stick onto the string. So therefore, the benefits of making sure your wrist is not too high is you can have a more of a core sound, a core in the middle of your sound, coming from your arm weight or finger pressure, um, and also having a more pure tone where the stick is not hitting or rubbing against the string. That will give you a not so ideal tone that you might be looking for. So experiment, okay? Everything comes down to experimenting. So if you're working on a piece of music and maybe just for now, give it a try. If you come across a forte, try playing it with a little bit more flat hair and see what happens. See if it gives you a different type of sound. If you are finding that sound to be too rough, then take away a little bit, tilt it a little bit. This is all something that comes from experience and experimenting. In the end, that will help you find different sounds that you can use in on your instrument. But if you are an orchestra and you are playing, don't try to just play with flat hair, because that kind of sound, I would say, is not really fond of in an orchestra unless the conductor gives you a green light to say, yeah, I need more of that, that edge to the sound. Then sure, then you can. But otherwise, there's like an unspoken rule in professional orchestras, and it's that always play with a beautiful sound. Um, all right, so give it a try, give it a shot in your own music, and leave in the comments to see if you notice any difference playing with flat hair versus tilted hair, and if you have found it useful. I would love to see any feedback. All right, so that's it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Questions or anything, leave it down below. And hit that subscribe button. As always, thank you for watching.